Hey class, I just want to run through some quick steps with you to help you find your Masterplots essay that you're going to need to complete your paper number 2. What I want you to do is start here we are at the Citrus College homepage. We're going to do our research on the Citrus College Library, and so let's go to the Citrus College Library site, set up here at the bottom of the homepage. You'll see that the library has actually set up a link to another site because actually this is a good thing. We have a pretty tech-forward library, and they've added a lot of stuff to their website that the Citrus College website doesn't quite support, so it's good. This is where you want to be. This is the library's homepage. Now, the first step in getting a Masterplots essay, or really any sort of research from the library, is to go down here to where it says My Library Account and get a My Library Account. The reason you want to do this is that the My Library Account will allow you to actually access all the materials in the library from your home computer at home or from wherever you want to do the work. If you don't get a My Library account, you have to do this work on campus, which is kind of inconvenient. So it's a pretty simple process here, a 3-step process. There's a little video here that tells you how to do it, but you want to do that first. All right, so let's say you have a My Library account. Now you're ready to look for the Masterplots essay. There is more than one way to do it. We're going to take a probably more roundabout way to do it right now. Just so we can look at the site a little bit more. I want to point out, down here where it says Research Help, a lot of this is set up specifically for English 101, and we will get to this stuff, but that's really more for the doing the research paper. We don't need all that right now just to get to the Masterplots. So what we want to do is go to where it says Databases and click on that list. Databases are subscription services that the college pays money to. Really all colleges do this so that we can have access to all the material in all these databases. Anything we find in these many databases is guaranteed to be a legitimate source which can be used in our research, and that's why colleges are willing to pay the money for them. So there's so many of them here. I don't want a health database. I don't want a news database really. What I want is a literary database, and there are a few on here. The one we'll start with is under E. So go to E. And you'll see it's right here. It's called EBSCOhost Multiple Databases. So we are going to get more databases here, but that's where the Masterplots essay is going to be. So let's go there. All right, it's clicking into EBSCOhost. So here's a list of all the databases that are collected in EBSCOhost, and you'll see that this top one is already clicked for you. That means whatever I search, it'll search this one database, but it won't search these other ones unless I click on them. So what I'm going to say is there's really only one other database I think you should click on here, and that's under the letter M. This is specifically a literary database. It's called McGill on Literature Plus. That's where the Masterplots essays are most easily located. So click on that, and then just really go to the bottom of this list and go on to continue. This is going to get us to the search box that we need to have. All right, there it is. We're on EBSCOhost. This is the search box. It's only going to search the different databases. There's 3 that have been clicked, and one is going to be McGill. Now you have a lot of options here. You can put click author here and write the author, or put a title, type title. Really, what I found worked best is to keep this as simple as possible. I'm just going to leave these as they are. I'm going to type the name of my story in here. I'm going to use How I Met My Husband, which is a story we've all read in this class. Notice it's already prompting me with the rest. I'll leave it like that, and I'll just put Monroe here. And again, I'm not worried about capital letters. I don't have the quotation marks. I've spelled it right. I'll take their prompt here, Monroe Alice. That's enough. Those 2 pieces of information are going to be enough to get me some sources, and the Masterplot's probably going to be in there. All right, here we go. I've got 2 sources here. The first one's called How I Met My Husband. It's written by a guy named Henry Barron, and yes, it appeared in a Masterplots short story series book. So this is what I want right here. Notice this one's also called How I Met My Husband, and this one appeared in McGill's Survey of American Literature, which is kind of like Masterplots, but not as useful since it's mostly just a summary. So I'm not going to click here because that's just going to give me that when you click that, you just get a summary of the article. I want the full text of the article here. Let's take a look at what's in Masterplots. All right, the first thing I want to point out to you here is that Masterplots is a short essay. It is over right there. That's it. That's all there is to it. So it's not difficult to pull a quote from this because there's not that much to search for. Before we look for the quote, though, what I would point out to you, though, is you have a very useful toolbar over here on the right-hand side. There's a lot of things you can do with this article outside of just read it. You could add it to a folder to read later. You could print it, work that way, email it to yourself if you're at school. The one I just want to point out is the citation button here. When we start using multiple sources, we're going to have to generate works cited pages at the end of our papers, and then the citation button is actually very, very helpful. If you click on a citation button, you get the different citation formats depending on which citation format you've been assigned. We're in a humanities class, so we use the MLA, Modern Language Association. But this is what I would put for if I used a quote from this source, this is exactly what I would put on my works cited page to establish where I got the quote from. So we're going to use this a lot on the research paper. Just be aware it's there and use it here as well. There's also a create note function. I won't get into that here so much, but you could, if you find something you find particularly interesting, you can highlight it and you can change the color. Oh, you can listen to it. Okay, you could change color and take notes on the side. But I'll worry about that when we get to the research paper. So right now, what I want to do, though, I just want to kind of look at what's in this Masterplots essay. Some basic information up front, and then when it says the story right here, this is a big summary of the story. I will not pull quotes from here because there's nothing in here I don't already know. This guy who wrote this, Henry Barron, he's an expert. They wouldn't let him write this article unless he was an expert on Alice Munro or short fiction. I need an idea from him or one of his judgments or a comment he makes, and that's going to happen after the plot summary. He's got some here in themes and meanings. He's got some here in style and technique. So this is all I'm going to search for. And specifically what I'm looking for is something that will tie into the topics I've already chosen for writing about this story. Something about first-person point of view, something about the use of minor characters, etc. Or something about the theme. Any of those things I can probably fit into my paper somewhere. So I'll search through here. Once I've got what I need, a couple of sentences, I'll copy them down. I'll make sure they get into my paper. And that's really all I'm trying to do with the Masterplots essay. It's just our first foray into the use of secondary sources. All right, so hopefully that helped you find your Masterplots essay. And, as always, if you have any problems or anything happens, just get hold of me. But good luck. Okay.